really have Somali experiences, who are, who are kind of born here, even going to Somalia and fighting for, militant groups that America labels to be terrorists or so on. It wasn't a religious factor that had driven these men, because if it was religious, it would have happened a long time ago. It had nothing to do with religion. It really was driven by nationhood. A lot of people thought because of the invasion of Ethiopia, supported by the United States.
Overthrowing the Islamic courts union.
That's right, which basically was the only relative peace itself that the country has known for 20 years. 5 of the major warlords, which had been causing havoc for 18 years in this country, and they called them the Alliance for Restoration of Peace. And this was the name given by the U.S., and those guys started to come back and destroy more. And so even if we don't go back into history, into how the U.S. has been effective in that country, up to the present has been not great.
Your thoughts on President Obama, on the first African-American president of this country?
I think it's amazing. I think that Obama's election, what Obama does with it will be decided in the future, as it always is. But the nature of it alone, that election alone, is something that's, I think, hard to deny. I think that it was a sign in that moment in time of America attempting to regain its political sanity in some way, in the eyes of the world anyway. It was like, oh, wait a minute, America can be sane again,
The way most people know Somalia today is piracy. That's when it gets attention in the United States, piracy on the high seas. Can you explain what happened?
Stolen fish, but also dumping nuclear toxic waste into our shores. And the Somali press has been writing about it and talking about it since then. But it was only when tsunami hit that a lot of the containers had been brought to the shore in Somalia and actually caused death from direct effect of what is contained in those containers. About 400 villagers in the shorelines had passed away from those issues. So the fishermen, the ex-fishers, and even ex-Coast Guards and militiamen got together, went into the waters, and those are your original pirates who held at bay these criminals who were usually from the West, those major pirates. And then the trade became kind of a little bit out of control, and it became every hungry man to the water.
And what do you think would change it?
Cultural solutions. I don't think that you can. The big guns won't scare Somalis. It's just not the way that culture works. If you look at its history, all the way from the pre-colonization, Somalis have never been afraid of war. They've never been afraid of major powers. It's a country that has led the longest anti-colonial war in sub-Saharan Africa. So there's something about the people there that is resilient to things like that. Now, the only solution I think that could really be effective is we have a cultural system, we have a clan system, we have an elder system that can be worked out. So basically every pirate group that's in the waters has a clan that they answer to. Now, if you talk to the clan elders, and you are able to assure them that the crimes against Somalia and against our waters and against our region will in fact be looked into and will cease to continue, it will be shameful for that certain clan not to bring their men out of the water.
Did you follow the young man who was brought here?
Yes, yeah. I mean, it was just a sad thing to witness, You can, as a Somali, you're watching the cultural nuances of his arrival, and like, he's smiling, And a lot of people thought, what is he smiling about in America? But he's Somali, and he knows that the world is watching, and it's not polite for him to just be gloomy, even though he understands he faces major issues. He's a teenager. That's the best he can do is smile and, you know.
This is the one surviving young man who was who took the U.S. ship.
Yeah.
The other ones were killed.
Yeah, unfortunately.
You sing about hip-hop and what it means. What do you see hip-hop doing now? How is it evolving?
I think that hip-hop's strength has always been when it was kind of the journalism of a community that's otherwise inaccessible to to mass media or mass culture. And so I think that when it continues to be that way, it'll still be relevant. But for a long time, it's been taken over by corporate interests, really. And so the hip-hop that you've been getting for a while has been more of employed, I think, for more production and more things, when it comes from the have-nots. So I think when it goes global, like with what I'm doing with it, and I think it'll continue to have its relevance in some way.
Can I talk about what's hardcore?
It's a song of mine. What's hardcore is just a song that was kind of comparing the conditions of a lot of, even though a lot of rappers come from struggle, which is relevant anywhere in the world, a lot of people tend to glorify with certain posture the difficulty that they come from. And we grew up in a place that's far, far worse. I mean, and just to be honest. And so the song parallels those experiences and kind of asks the question, what is hardcore?
So what's hardcore, really? Are you hardcore? So what's hardcore, really? Are you hardcore? We begin our day by the way of the gun. Rocket propel grenades blow your way if you front. We got no police, ambulance, or firefighters. We start riots by burning car tires. They looting and everybody starts shooting. And politicians talking about solutions, but it's all talk. You can't go half a block without a roadblock. You don't pay at the roadblock, you get your throat shot. And each roadblock is set up by these gangsters. And different gangsters go by different standards.
Just in a very fortunate position to be playing my music.
What's your favorite song?
It's hard to have. It's like when it's really true when artists say it's difficult to have a favorite song. It's kind of like choosing your children over one another. When you choose a song because you have a relationship with them, you wrote them. But I think that the most far-reaching song on this album is probably going to be a song called "Waving Flag." It's just something in the melody, something in the feeling that it gives you. One of those songs that you just kind of come upon.
Let's go to it.
When I get older, I will be stronger. They'll call me freedom, just like a waving flag. Born to a throne, stronger than Rome, but violent prone, poor people's own. But it's my home, all I have known, where I got grown. Streets we would roam, out of the darkness, I came the farthest, among the hardest survival. Learn from these streets, it can be bleak, accept no defeat, surrender, retreat. So we struggling, fighting to eat, and we wondering when we'll be free. So we patiently wait for that fateful day. It's not far away, but for now we say